everybody, and welcome to another episode with the Anxious Resistance. Today we're talking about brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It is quite the mouthful, but it's a very interesting topic and very applicable to mental health. So I want to talk about what this thing is. I'll throw up a little picture here of what it is. So this is brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF for short. And this is a protein that is in our body, particularly around our neurons, which is, our brain cells and our nerves throughout the body. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor is a very important protein for memory. And it is also important for not just memory, but learning and growth, and also not becoming depressed, and also not becoming anxious. It's what allows our body to adapt to circumstances. So when you have this protein released throughout the body, it helps you make new neuronal connections. It helps you learn, helps you remember, and helps you get better. Although the vast majority of neurons in the mammalian brain are formed prenatally, so this means they're formed before you were born, parts of the adult brain retain the ability to grow new neurons from neural stem cells in a process known as neurogenesis. So we can create new brain cells, and we can also create new connections between brain cells, and these are what allow us to grow and to learn. And I talk about that a whole lot more in a video that I'll link right up here. It's about neuroplasticity, which is that term where you make new connections in your brain. What does this have to do with mental health? In mental health, you really need to have your brain be in an adaptable state so that, when you have new stressors in your life, you can learn to deal with them. We have new things come up all the time in life as we learn, as we grow, as we get older. And we have to adapt to those circumstances, whether it's, living in a new place, or whether it's having a kid, or whether it's, getting married, whether it's, having any new relationship in life. These things are all burdens on us and create new stress when it's a new situation. So what this protein does is when it's released, it allows us to adapt, like I've been saying. So what we want to know is what increases the release of this brain-derived neurotrophic factor so that we can have ourselves be more adaptable, more changeable to circumstances. And one of the things is exercise. You may hear your psychiatrist or your psychologist or your therapist or whoever just pound over and over and over again, get your exercise in. And for some people with some severe mental health challenges, exercise is a difficult thing. I know for me, for a very long time, it was difficult for me to get up and exercise because honestly, it actually made me more anxious. It kind of got those endorphins flowing again and that serotonin, and it gave my body enough juice that I could get anxious again. And so I just didn't like it. But nowadays I exercise 3 times a week. And I feel so much better because my anxiety has been under control because of medication. But when I add the exercise now, I feel all the much better, and I do feel like I adapt and I learn better and I focus more. And that's because of that upregulation and an increased level of the brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Low levels of BDNF have been linked to subjects with depression and with suicidal behavior. You can literally test for the blood levels of BDNF, and you can correlate that to whether somebody is linked to having suicidal behavior or depressive behavior. So the greater we increase this, the more likely we are to not have those challenges and issues. So it's possible that induced behaviors that increase BDNF help us with our suicidal behavior and with our other psychiatric disorders. BDNF may be a biological marker of suicidal behavior in certain patient populations. It is to be hoped that the studies of the neurology of suicidal behavior will lead to the development of new methods of suicide prevention. As I've talked about, upregulation of that BDNF, increased levels of that BDNF will help you feel better, will help you adapt. And one of the biggest ways is through exercise that I talked about, but another way is, getting the right nutrition. Studies have shown that an increased intake of niacin, which is a vitamin, can help you upregulate that BDNF. You know, maybe if you think that might be your issue, why you're having depression, maybe try taking niacin. But on that note, make sure you're just keeping up with your nutrition. I know it's something that's people don't like to hear. I know I didn't like to hear it for years. But honestly, your body feels better and does better when you have the right nutrition, and it can make these adaptations, these changes. I know it's a bit of a long one today, guys, but thank you so much for listening, and check out The Anxious Resistance for more content just like this. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like down below, and thanks so much for watching.